Welcome to this special edition of the Rambosk Report. I'm Adam Fisher. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and once again, we want to shine a light on this issue that affects millions across the country and many right here in Collier County. Approximately 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men experience physical violence from an intimate partner in their lifetime. My colleague, Andrea Jones, sat down with Corporal Pilarski of our Special Crimes Bureau to discuss what is still often a hidden crisis, how law enforcement responds, and what members of the community can do to help.
What are some misconceptions or myths that people have about domestic violence?
That our suspects tend to be men. We do have men as victims many times as well. And we also have, the misconception that domestic violence is prevalent in low-income families or households. It does tend to happen also in families with higher incomes.
It runs the gamut.
Anybody can be a victim.
When our deputies respond to a DV call, what can make those situations especially challenging?
Some of these calls that they do respond to involve people that are having a mental health crisis or may have Alzheimer's or some kind of medical condition that makes things difficult.
So do we support our victims beyond that, showing up to the scene?
Yes, we do. So typically when we have a case, it gets assigned to a detective. It gets assigned to our victim's advocate. It also gets sent, the case itself gets sent over to the Shelter for Abused Women and Children. And again, just because it's women and children, they do provide services for men. Mm-hmm. So they'll get a phone call from the sheriff's office as far as the detective goes. They'll get a phone call from a victim's advocate. They'll get a phone call from the shelter.
What are some tips, if you're looking at your friend or your sister or it's yourself maybe, what are some things that people might look out for?
If you have a friend or a family member and you notice that their partner is always wanting to watch their phones or is constantly calling to check in on them to make sure that they're okay, or if you start noticing, we live in Florida, it's hot. If you start noticing that the person is wearing long sleeves all the time, you might want to watch for injuries that aren't visible, out in the open.
Okay. And if they do see those, they can contact us, and it doesn't have to be
It doesn't necessarily have to be a report that we make. It could be a phone call, as simple as a phone call. Hey, I have a friend that is going through this. What do you think I should do?
So we're not going to come lights and sirens and make,
not necessarily,
scene.
No.
Okay. What am I not asking you that you would want the public to know?
Reaching out is nothing bad. It doesn't mean that your kids are going to get taken away. It doesn't mean that life is going to be altered or changed. It's just we're there to help. The shelter is there to help.
Right. And things get better.
They can.
As Corporal Pilarski said, there is help available. Remember, if you or someone you know is in immediate danger, call 911. The Collier County Sheriff's Office is trained to respond and coordinate with support services. CCSO works closely with the Shelter for Abused Women and Children, which provides emergency shelter, counseling, advocacy, and more. Our team also partners with the Shelter in the Invest program, which provides intensive service management and assistance to individuals identified to be in potentially lethal situations. Another resource is the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE or 1-800-799-7233. It's confidential, answered 24/7, and connects you with local services. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next week.